One, a two, a one.
It's time for the Better Horses radio show. So let's saddle up and ride as we explore the Western way of life, horses and cows, family and friends, a relationship with the land, and a relationship with God. It's all here on Better Horses Radio. Now let's hit the trails with the Better Horses team.
And welcome. We are the team of Better Horses. Glad you could join us. I'm Ed Adams.
I'm Susie Arbo.
And I'm Merle Arbo.
And together we're going to be talking about the horse industry and everything coming on board. Merle and Susie, thank you for joining me. This is going to be a great show.
It will be.
You know, we have a lot of discussions to talk about, but one thing that really came out that I thought was really interesting is American Horse Council came out with their new statistics about how many horses are in every state and all that kind of fun thing. But did you know, Susie, this is a question for you. Did you know that in 1920, there were 25 million horses in this country? And in 1960, it dropped to 3 million. And as of 2023, we are now at 6.9 million horses. So wasn't that interesting? In 1960, we only had 3 million horses.
That is interesting. Do they say, Ed, in that article what they attribute that to?
I think because, as a matter of fact, I think horse-drawn plows and carriages was the only means of transportation back then. But I think in 1960, we all decided, we don't need them. And then it just came back. So, and I think that's pretty much what it was going on.
I know my granddad, he said as soon as he could afford a tractor, he sold the team of horses he had.
Right. I think we could probably play that. It is coming back. The good news is the horse industry is hotter than it's ever been. And we've got a lot to talk about. But a shameless plug, and I apologize for everybody around the country that's about to hear this. But we are going to participate in the Super Bowl victory parade here in Kansas City. And Susie, we are, as the Jackson County Sheriff's Mounted Posse, we get to ride our horses in front of probably 3 million people, screaming people. And that's some training.
Absolutely. And that parade, we had the opportunity to ride in it a couple years ago, and it is just surreal, isn't it, Ed? Just as far as seeing all the fans from, different parking garages and ramps all the way up, lining the streets, and the big, bursts of confetti coming out, and the music, and just the celebration, the energy in the Super Bowl parade is just unlike any other thing that you can even fathom. So it's gonna be so fun to have that here in Kansas City again. And like you said, sorry to the rest of the nation. We know.
I think the hard part about doing this in these parades is to see all of what you just described as millions of people are screaming. You're all by yourself on your horse, and you have to smile and act like your horse is doing fine. And Merle, the horse is not doing fine. How we get these horses to do this is truly amazing. And you've been training these horses to go into these screaming stadiums and we will brag a little bit, but we got the loudest stadium in the country in the NFL right now.
Yes, we do. No, it is probably one of Susie's favorite horseback events, and is probably, as a horse trainer, is probably one of the most terrifying for me. It is absolutely unpredictable. There's some horses that love it. There's others that absolutely hate it. And it is so wild to have to navigate that kind of, for lack of a better term, like artificial environment, because that's something like a horse wouldn't normally be in. And then here we are riding them down the middle of the parade and everybody's screaming. It's really superficial almost until you get done and you're like, wow, that was really cool.
Yeah, and our next show will actually describe what Susie and I went through during that parade, because we have no idea what we're about to get ourselves into. But as the Jackson County Sheriff's Mounted Posse, it is fun to run the security rabbit out there. And we do a security sweep with the horses and let everybody scream and shout and before the big parade comes out. And I think that's kind of fun to do that. But hey, let's get into our guests. We've got a great show coming your way. We are going to start off with Jill Dunkel. She's the executive director of the Stock Horse of Texas Association. It's a nonprofit organization that promotes the versatile stock horse and riders. And Merle, you and I talked about it. This is a growing event.
Yeah, they are. To me, they are the single largest organization that's responsible for all of our ranch classes. They started many years ago, as Jill will I'm sure will tell you, and it has grown and evolved. And a lot of our quarter horse rules and paint horse rules too have started from the SHOT organization.
And Susie, we're going to bring in Lynn Martin, and she's going to be one of our veterinarian specialists of equines, as she's basically going to be with the University of Missouri College of Veterinary Medicine. People don't realize what a real big program and what a specialty program this really is.
That's right. And she's going to share with us, that a lot of times if you can't get your emergency vet on, on call right away, that you can load up your horse and take him to the university and they'll take care of him, which is a huge asset to know for horse owners.
This is going to be a lot of fun as we take a look at this. So I'll tell you what, let's take a moment and have a quick message from our good friend at the Risen Ranch Cowboy Church in Carthage, Missouri, Pastor Steve Stafford.
Hey folks, I hope today is a good day for you and your family. A few weeks ago, Miss Debbie and I, we went to Abilene, Kansas. I had the privilege and the joy of preaching there. And for us, it was a land far away. We didn't have a clue how to get there and especially to get home. We needed a map, but you can't find a map today. Well, I'm just glad that on that truck of mine, we had something to plug in. We just had to figure out how to do it. It got me to thinking about life. We need a map to get us through this life because every day is an uncharted course. Well, God gave us a map. It's right here in His Word. All we have to do is dig in here to get in here, sometimes privately and sometimes corporately. But the main thing is to spend time in God's Word. It'll give us the map, and life will be all the more enjoyable. So it's our prayer here today at Better Horses that you too have the map. Look at it. Pray about it, think about it, read about it. Hey, this is Steve Stafford. I'm the pastor at Risen Ranch Cowboy Church, a very proud member of the Better Horses family.
I love Steve because he always has a way of putting everything in perspective as we ride our horses, and I just appreciate everything that he does over there. And he helps a lot of kids, which I think is very important.
Yes,
and I think that's very good. Susie, I tell you what I really get a kick out of. We said this in the beginning of our podcast. We were blessed with Phil Haugen coming on board, and he said he's going to give us some tips and special things for our show. We've got him coming in, and he's going to give us a special tip on barrel racing. And these are speed events. This is something you used to do for a living. And I don't know why you don't keep doing it, but at the end of the day, I think Phil's going to give us some really great tips as far as what he has to do is not only just speed events, but actually the thinking and the reaction side of the horse.
Yes, he's always got so many good tips. And, at Better Horses, we are all about the education and about learning and just continuing to get better with our horses.
All right, so let's take a minute, and we're going to introduce you to one of our best, Be Your Best Horsemanship, Phil Haugen from Weatherford, Oklahoma. And this segment is brought to you by our good friends at Merck Animal Health. And, these people are doing research and doing everything they can to make our equine experience the best it can possibly be. If you haven't checked them out, feel free to check their website out at merckanimalhealth.usa.com. And now let's take a moment and listen to Phil Haugen.
Hey everybody, thanks for having us on Better Horses TV this week. For this week's training tip, I'm going to use a question that I was asked this week, and I had a customer that sent some videos for me to look at, and their question was they were having a problem with their barrel horse on the pattern, and wanted to know any suggestions on how to fix it. And this is something that we all run into quite a bit, and it isn't specific just to barrel racing. Any of the performance events. This applies to rope horses. Really any discipline. A lot of times, like in this particular situation in the barrel racing, I think a lot of times it's very beneficial to get that horse away from the pattern and work on that weakness, and then go back to the pattern and apply it. And the reason I say that is in that event, that's a grueling event. That event takes a lot of effort from a horse, takes a lot of athletic ability. It's an event that lasts 14, 15, 16 seconds, not 4 or 5 seconds like in the roping, or 8 seconds in the calf roping, or 3 seconds in the breakaway. It's an event that lasts a good while longer. And so I think if you work on those challenges that you're having on the pattern all the time, I think you can make it to where your horse gets to hating the pattern. And so what I like to do in those situations is get that horse off of the pattern and then work on that weakness, whatever that is. And it could be a number of things. It could be with speed, going into a turn, getting front endy, with speed, hollowing their back out going into a turn, which here again, that causes that horse to get front end loaded, their head elevates, their back hollows out. Any number of things with speed, that speed brings out in a horse. And if you work on those things away from the pattern and you get better at it and you reinforce that fundamental and you build confidence, that horse gets its confidence back. Because you got to remember what happens to a horse going into a turn at a high rate of speed is if out of nowhere they don't know that you're going to ask them to turn and all of a sudden we're pulling on the bridle reins pretty hard. A lot of times you're going to scare them or startle them. And whenever a horse gets scared or startled, that initiates a reactive response and they'll get stiff and brace. So if you go work on that away from the pattern, and then once you reestablish that fundamental through correct repetitions and you build confidence, and then you go back and apply it on the pattern, well then you can apply it on the pattern, and when you get the desired response, then you quit. Then that's like the release point. That's the reward for the day, is when you go back to the pattern. And so that's something that, and we, like I said, you can apply that in a lot of different disciplines. With some of the rope horses that I ride, I do the same thing. There are times, just here last week, I was riding a couple of horses and I'm getting ready in the breakaway. And, the one guy started to get a little bit insecure in the box. She was a little uncomfortable. And she started to get a little bit bracy, not bad, but a little bit. I could feel it. So for the next 2 days, I just took everything off and put a ring snaffle bit back on her, and I went back and worked on fundamentals. 2 days later, I went back and roped on her, and it was a lot better. So sometimes taking a step back, don't look at that taking a step back like you're failing or you're getting worse. In this business, in the training business, it's a management business. I mean, you're never going to get your horse to a point where they're just done. Okay, that's not reality. The best horses in the world have somebody that is reinforcing those fundamentals continually. Okay. So that's just part of it. But going back to our original question, when you're having that issue on the pattern, try to get off the pattern, work on fundamentals, work on building confidence through consistency, then go back to the pattern. And when your horse is softer, more responsive, you can go back to the pattern, and that's like the release point. Put them back on the pattern. When they do it right, quit. All of a sudden, that horse starts to crave going back to the pattern instead of dreading it. If we school on them all the time on the pattern, it makes it makes perfect sense that they'd start to dread the pattern. So that's my tip for this week. I hope that helps. Thanks for having us on. You can follow us on philhaugenhorsemanship.com on our site, or on Facebook and Instagram at Phil Haugen Horsemanship. Have a great week, and we'll see you next time.
A great message from Phil Haugen. Be your best horsemanship. We're going to have more of his stuff coming up in the upcoming podcast. But first, we got to take a break. I'm Ed Adams.
I'm Susie Arbo.
And I'm Merle Arbo.
And we'll be right back right after these messages.
Internal parasite control is critical to your horse's health, but isn't always easy. Some worms are as stubborn as they are dangerous. Luckily, there's Panicure fenbendazole from Merck Animal Health. It works in a powerful and extremely safe way, so it's tough on parasites, but gentle on horses, making it a safe choice for foals, weanlings, and even thin or debilitated horses. Consult your veterinarian for assistance in the diagnosis, treatment, and control of parasitism, and ask how Panicure can become part of your deworming strategy. Learn more at MerckAnimalHealthUSA.com.
We're here for the hardworking, the resilient. We're for the people who measure their days by what needs to get done, not by hours. Where kids learn responsibility at a young age and generations work side by side. Where work doesn't pause for holidays or bad weather. It just gets harder. Where value and hard work means more than the clothes you wear. We're Kleinschmidt's Western Store, Higginsville, Missouri.
Routine dental examination and treatments are essential for high-quality horse care. To prevent potential problems, a horse's mouth should be examined at least once a year. I'm Dr. Chris Blevins, Equine Field Service Veterinarian at Kansas State University Veterinary Health Center. We can examine the mouth and provide a treatment plan to meet the needs of each client and their horse. Visit us at ksvhc.org. The Veterinary Health Center, to discover, to teach, to heal.
It's time to mark your calendar for one of the top horse events of the season, the 27th Annual Equifest of Kansas. This all-breed horse fair is coming to Salina, Kansas, beginning Thursday, March 14th through Sunday, March 17th. World-renowned clinicians including Guy McLean, the Jerry Diaz family, Julie Goodnight, Patrick Sullivan, and Sally Batten. Catch a special Thursday night show, plus the most popular competitions with ranch rodeo, barrel race, and breakaway roping. Wall-to-wall shopping for all things horse. For more information, go to equifestofks.com.
And welcome back to Better Horses. You know, as we talked about at the first of the hour, we're going to have a lot of people talk about basic events that are going on around the country. But this segment is brought to you by Kleinschmidt's Western Wear, located in Higginsville, Missouri, probably one of the largest and best Western wear shops that you can go to, and over 30,000 square feet of basically everything you can think of to gear up for a cowboy or cowgirl. I know you shop there, Merle.
Oh yeah, there's a plethora of Western wear. I mean, you from your top of your hat to the bottom of your boots, they've got whatever you need.
They got you covered. For everybody around the United States that are listening to us, you can check them out at their website at kleinboot.com. That's www.kleinboot.com. So coming up in this segment, really excited to have this young lady come to us, the executive director of the Stock Horse of Texas Association. Now, this is a nonprofit organization that promotes the versatile stock horse and riders. And I got to tell you guys, this is something we're really going to look forward to as we welcome Jill Dunkel, the executive director. Jill, thank you for joining Better Horses.
Thank you. Looking forward to visiting with you guys today.
You know, you are probably one of the oldest organizations, and I really want to unpack this and talk about you helping people ride, a better horse. So naturally, it kind of like throws a better horses. That's kind of nice. I love your logo there. So talking about the oldest versatile stock horse association in the country, kind of walk us through everything you do down there and all the versatility that you have.
You bet. We got started in 1996 when a few gentlemen sat down together and said, we need to craft a way for people to improve their horsemanship. And it's just exploded from there. Our mission is education, and we stay true to those roots, but we also have a large number of competitions that go with all of our education items. And that helps us, people can measure how they do with their education when they come to a show. So our first show of 2024 is coming up in Bryan, Texas, the end of February, first weekend in March.
Now, the Stock Horse of Texas, you have the alliance partnership with the AQHA and the NRCHA, I believe. So you're right there on the National Ranch and the Horse alliances all together, correct?
You bet. We have partnerships with AQHA, APHA, and NRCHA, and work together with our rules as well as different awards and qualifying platforms, things like that. We qualified 40 exhibitors to the NRCHA Celebration of Champions that's going on right now in Fort Worth. So we have some great partnerships with other national organizations just for the good of the industry as a whole.
And Merle, you saw that when you were judging.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't know, and Jill can probably elaborate on this, is a lot of our AQHA ranch rules, the ranch riding, the ranch trail, ranch conformation, all started with the stock horse of Texas. I mean, that's where a lot of this started, and then they worked a collaboration. Is that right, Jill?
That is correct. We did start all those rules and kind of get everything started, and then started working with allied organizations like AQHA with their versatility ranch horse. We came together, it's probably been 10 years ago now, and joined together with our rules and our judging platform. And, things have just taken off. Ranch horse is one of the hottest things going right now in the horse world. And it's a great place for people to either get involved at a basic level, or those with experience. We've got a slot for too, and they just enjoy it. It's kind of getting back to their roots, having fun at horse shows, people cheering for each other, things like that is a big reason people come to these events.
We talked about it at the beginning of the hour of how many people can just get that horse right out of that pasture and come over to your event because you offer all levels.
We do. We actually started a level 1 novice 2 years ago for people that just really have no show experience. And we invite them to come to our clinics. Let us help you get started. Often we pair you with a mentor, whether that be a trainer or a non-pro that can help answer some of your questions. And then you kind of work through our system. We have 10 different divisions or skill levels. And of course, the pinnacle of that is going to be in our open division and our non-pro division. And there we have several AQHA and NRCHA and APHA world champions that show with us. So everywhere from the basic beginner and kids all the way up to the top level, we've got a place for them to come compete.
Since I have a judge here, we'll ask the question, Merle, why is this so popular, the ranch riding? And you and I watched this grow for the last, 3 to 5 years. When you're out there competing and it's a different type of competition, is it more of the natural horsemanship that's really drawing people together?
That's a great question, Ed. I think most people feel like it's more about a working style of horse, and maybe Jill can elaborate on it. It's the type of horse that you're going to use in Texas, when you're out riding out checking the cows, working, branding calves. Is that kind of how the organization started, Jill?
That's exactly how it got started, and just improving the horsemanship of cowboys in general, and but there's a lot of people that use their horses on their ranch if they've got a ranch, or maybe they have a few cows or whatever, or they trail ride, things like that, and then they bring them to town. And that's kind of the cool part about it. You don't have to have a big silver saddle. You come as you are. No fancy clothes. Although, some people enjoy picking out that special shirt or whatever to where they do look nice. But you don't have to do that with all the ranch horse stuff and with Stock Horse of Texas. And I think people appreciate that. It's a natural looking horse.
Let's break that down a little bit, because we always talk about, Merle and I kid each other about broke horses. But this is breaking it down to a discipline where you're touching on reining, working cow horse, stock horse's pleasure. Break that down to what can a rider expect to be doing when they come in for this competition?
So we're going to offer 4 core classes. Cow work is often the most exciting, and there's several levels of that. We have some introductory levels that do boxing. Then our mid-range level is a box drive class. And then our top levels are going down the fence, just like you would in a cow horse competition, some rope and some circle. Then in reining, we're looking for that broke horse that can go and do whatever is being asked, from circles of different sizes and speeds, flying lead changes, pretty smooth stops, a horse that's soft in his face and correct. Moving to the ranch trail, then we go into obstacles that you're going to find on the ranch, whether that's logs or dragging some brush, swinging a rope, things of that nature. And then what we call stock horse pleasure, it's very similar to the ranch riding. There we're looking for a really broke horse that's smooth in transitions and is a high quality mover. So it's a little bit of everything. And you may go work a cow and then 30 minutes later go ride a trail course. It's really highlighting that versatile horse that can do it all.
And Jill, I think what makes the Stock Horse of Texas a little unique is not only do you offer shows, but a lot of times there's clinics along with these shows too, to help that amateur rider or that novice rider that may be new to the association or new to showing. You help them get better. Can you tell us a little more about that?
You bet. This winter, we have actually had about 10 small clinics that we kind of scatter around the state. Small groups, and they are very focused with different events. Then before every show, we have a clinic. The one in Bryan, we have a boxing clinic, just focusing on that. We have a cow work clinic where people with a little more experience are just working on their cow work. Then we have a 4-event clinic where they go through a rotation system and work with a professional on all 4 of those classes. And like I said, education is the heart of our association. We want to bring people in, help them improve their horsemanship and their horses, and then have a good time doing it. Come to the clinics, come to the shows, and it's a camaraderie and a family when you get to that point.
We should also mention that you have scholarships available that you're putting together, which I think is very exciting. I wish all states would do that.
We do. And we're going to be awarding those scholarships as well as all of our year-end awards for 2023. That'll happen at the Bryan show.
And to be a member of the Stock Horse of Texas, you have to go online. And Jill, real quickly, what do somebody expect when they become a member of the program?
So a membership is just $30. It's one of the cheapest memberships going right now.
Wow. Okay.
And that just gets your foot in the door, gets you all the information that we disseminate about all of our events. And, then you're eligible to join us at clinics, shows, anything like that. And a couple of times a year, we will do even some online Zoom type educational events as well.
No, I like that. As a matter of fact, we were going to invite everybody to check this out. If you haven't checked out their website, this is actually pretty exciting. StockhorseTexas.org. You're a nonprofit organization on top of all this, correct?
You bet. We sure are. Everything we do, we pour right back into the association and our members. And it's really important for us to run the organization that way.
This is very exciting. We're going to, hopefully all states can follow through. We're talking to Jill Dunkel, Executive Director of the Stock Horse of Texas Association. Jill, thank you very much for letting us tap into your organization. We want to have you back so you can tell us mid-year how everything's going, and also touch base why this is still growing. And this is amazing. I think everybody's pulling their horses out trying to compete in this category.
That sounds great. Would love to come back and update people and invite them to come to one of our events. So be wonderful.
Okay. Well, Merle, we're going to take a quick break. I want everybody to stay with us. We're going to be right back with more Better Horses. I'm Ed Adams.
I'm Merle Arbo.
And we'll be right back right after these messages. And welcome back to Better Horses. We are so glad you joined us and continue to support us here at Better Horses. If everybody doesn't realize it, we also have a TV show and we also have a newspaper. And Merle, our newspaper just came out, the winter edition.
Yeah, that's if you haven't seen it yet, you're going to want to go to your local feed store, or you can also get us online and subscribe to it too. We'll come right to your mailbox.
You know, and I think that's puts a lot of good equine information. And if you want to subscribe to it, check out our website at betterhorses.com. Now, coming up, as we promise to educate. And if we do it really, really well, we get only the smartest people coming on our show. And I can tell you now we have done it. So I want to welcome everybody here as we reach out to the University of Missouri College of Veterinary Medicine. We have Lynn Martin, and she's the equine specialist of large animal vet. And she is also just probably the smartest person I ever talked to at the end of the day, Mark. And that's probably the worst intro you could come up with, but Lynn's going to walk us through. Lynn, welcome aboard. Thank you for joining Better Horses.
Thank you, Ed, for that kind introduction.
Yeah, it was kind, but I don't think I did it justice here. So you broke it down to the three parts. I really want to really unpack the University of Missouri and the College of Veterinary Medicine and talk about you specifically on what you do, and then the three or four components that we talk about at the university.
Sure. I here at the vet school am a large animal internal medicine specialist, and I focus specifically on horses. And within my role here at the college, I have teaching responsibilities, which is both in the clinic, also in the classroom. I have research and also service. Within the teaching component, we have function as a business, and we see routine equine appointments, whether it's dentals, vaccines, but also we get a bit more advanced and have cases referred for emergencies or more advanced diagnostic tests and procedures. Right alongside me through all that are the students in the clinic learning, as well as we have veterinary residents and interns. Looking at the research component of it, primarily what I have been doing are collaborations with other clinicians within the hospital. We've done a number of equine microbiome studies, looking at the microbiome of the oral cavity, blood, so looking at dental procedures, but also gastrointestinal issues and how the microbiota is affected with colic or administration of different drugs. Another bit of research I do is some product testing for some companies out there that are looking to get their product on the market, as well as retrospective studies. So taking a look back at the cases we've had and seeing what we can learn from them. For me, that has recently been specific to neonatal medicine. So those youngsters which are coming, the foals are coming, if not already here.
I think they've already started.
They have started.
Yeah.
And then the third component is service, and that is serving, the greater Missouri area, whether that's our referring veterinarians or clients. And in the fall, we do host a nice equine horse owner seminar, which, along with sponsorship from the Missouri Horse Council, has that relationship has really helped build participation in that event, and growing from about 40 to 50 participants up to 140 last fall. So we're really, really pleased to see that kind of turnout.
I don't think everybody in the state of Missouri or in other states realize how sophisticated the College of Veterinary Medicine in Missouri University has gotten. Your research, you've been with the college for a very long time. So people that are in the equine industry, I don't think realizes they can call your department and bring their horses to you or to the university for not only just simple care, but also for surgeries and the facilities you have. And I think, can you walk us through that and just how well you're set up to handle those issues?
Be happy to. So it is kind of like any other hospital. You give us a call if you have a need. If it's just sort of a consultation to see what the next steps are, let's get you on the books and get you in here. It can be anything from endoscopic procedures. So I do a lot of respiratory and gastrointestinal video endoscopy procedures, and We have a standing CT right now, which is huge. There's less than 10 in the United States, and we are really big in this right now, and a center for the best diagnostic imaging you can get in legs and the head. And so we're just seeing this change how we are practicing veterinary medicine here at the vet school. And along with those procedures, surgeries, whether it's soft tissue, hard tissue, we're set up and ready to go. And kind of my specialty, if you guys have sick horses, which is why you don't want to see me,
Right.
We have an intensive care unit. So we have a neonatal intensive care unit. We have one for adult horses as well, colitis, pneumonia, whatever's going on with your horse. We do IV catheters with fluids and medications and the whole gamut. It's really quite impressive and takes a lot of hands to get it all done, but it is impressive.
And I think a really important part of what you do down there at the University of Missouri is the emergency side of it and the emergency clinic. I've seen locally that a lot of veterinarians don't offer emergency services like historically we're used to. And so I think it's important for our listeners to realize that you offer emergency services as well.
I am really happy that you brought that up, because that is one of the largest components of what we do as a service at the university. And you are also right in that local veterinarians out there in private practice, they're setting some boundaries, which is fine. We all need to have some balance, but those first C primary cases where owners can't get a vet to come to us. We're here all the time, 24/7, 365 days a year. And during my residency, my specialty training, every case that came after hours, there was a referring veterinarian attached to it. So everybody was sending something that just needed maybe more diagnostic tests or colic surgery or something like that. And now we have people coming from 2, 3, even 4 hours, if you can believe it, for just to see us on the first C. They can't get a veterinarian out to see them. And so we're proud to have that service. We work very hard to cover that for the state of Missouri. And I would also like to say that we're presently in the process of hiring a dedicated emergency clinician so that we can even more robustly support consistently that service.
You brought it up and I liked it. Your research program, primary, but you, with other veterinarians out there, you're doing a lot of collaboration on your research. And so you're almost like the go-to as far as moving that information across. Can you tag on or touch base on that?
Yeah, so we do collaborate a lot. And one kind of example that just comes to mind right now is for a microbiome study that we did recently. We reached out to some practices in the Kansas City area, and they helped collect tissue, or not tissues, but samples rather, to be a part of this study. And the results are just amazing. What we can do putting together more samples from a more varied area to make more meaningful results for veterinarians to improve the way in which they practice, or for horse owners to improve the way they care for their animals. Other collaborations, I have one going right now where I am collaborating with 2 or 3 different practices across the United States. And we also have a pretty large scale equine gastrointestinal microbiome study that spans across the US and even over into other countries, including the UK and Australia.
Wow, that is impressive. And moving over, I'm going to pivot you just for a little bit. Not only do you do a lot of things on research and services and outreach on the programs, you're also involved in the Missouri Horse Council.
Yes, I am. I presently serve as the past chair of the Missouri Horse Council. And a couple weeks ago, we had our annual meeting, which was held in Jefferson City. And the meeting was great. We had a lot of meaningful discussion there. For those who don't know, the Horse Council is all about educating, being an advocate, and improving communication about the equine industry within Missouri.
You know, we have the American Horse Council impact study that's just coming out, and we'll put that out there. But the Missouri Horse Council is a little bit different than most around the state. Instead of entering the program as an individual, you enter the program as a group. Touch base on that, Lynn, on how that works.
Yeah. So the idea behind how the Horse Council is structured, if you will, is that organizations and businesses are members. So take, for example, the vet school. We as a whole are a member organization of the Missouri Horse Council. Our organization has one vote. And that would be the same, for example, the Missouri Quarter Horse Association. We also have the Backcountry Horsemen of Missouri. And in this way, we get one vote from kind of each sector of the state, and it allows there to be a bit more, per se, equal distribution when it comes to voting on big issues. It's not going to be all the quarter horse guys making the decision versus all the trail riders making the decision. The idea behind the Horse Council is to have one voice for the equine industry as a whole. And I think we're really doing a good job of that with the Missouri Horse Council.
Well, I think it's surprising for a lot of people that Missouri ranks probably 5th or 6th as the largest state in the country that has horses. It surprises a lot of people. Ohio's up there too, Oklahoma, Texas, and Florida, California. We talked about that at the beginning of the hour. And I think it's just impressive how many horses that you have to service in this industry. So, Lynn, we want to thank you for joining us. We're talking to Lynn Martin. She's an equine specialist at the University of Missouri College of Veterinary Medicine. We don't get to say this to a lot of people, but go Chiefs. We did win the Super Bowl, so I get to say it to Lynn. I can't say it to too many people. Merle's out there raising the flag. So, Lynn, we want to thank you for joining us. We'd like to invite you to come back again and be our specialist and be our vocal intelligence person as far as equine medicine. That'd be great.
Sure. Be happy to do so. Thanks for having me.
Okay, and before you go, can you tell us how people can get a hold of you and what's the best way to reach the department?
Sure. If you would like to get a hold of the Equine Hospital, our number is 573-882-3513. We also have a website and a Facebook page specific to the Equine Hospital at the vet school. And if you need to reach me directly, I can share my email. It's Lynn, LYNN, .Martin, MARTIN, @Missouri.edu.
And that's Lynn Martin at the Equine Specialist for the University of Missouri College of Veterinary Medicine. Merle, we're going to take a break real quick, and we got some more equine information coming your way here on Better Horses. I'm Ed Adams.
And I'm Merle Arbo.
And we'll be right back right after these messages.
Hi, I'm Dr. Dylan Luter, a specialist in equine performance medicine at the Kansas State University Veterinary Health Center. Our new service focuses on lameness diagnosis, advanced imaging, physical therapy, and regenerative medicine for horses with injuries preventing them from performing at their best. We can treat a variety of conditions and design a customized rehabilitation plan to meet the needs of each client and their horse. Visit us at ksvhc.org, the Veterinary Health Center, to discover, to teach, to heal.
Hi, I'm Tommy with Heritage Tractor. Whether you're looking to maintain your yard or your whole ranching operation, Heritage Tractor has John Deere mower and tractor packages that make work fly by. With a variety of horsepower and attachment configurations, we have a package to best fit your needs and budget. To learn more about these exclusive packages, visit us in store or online at heritagetractor.com.
Legendary products, extraordinary service, that's our heritage.
Established in 1956, the Pinto Horse Association of America was formed to welcome all types of equines and maintain their show records and pedigrees. PTHA currently has over 88,000 members with 157,000 registered pintos. There are currently 3 separate registries: the Color Registry, the Solid Registry, and the Long Ear Registry. We welcome all levels of competition within a family-friendly environment. Become a member, register, and add value to your horse. For more information, check out the website pintoworld.com. Runny nose, cough, fever. It's flu season for humans and horses. Like human flu vaccines, equine flu vaccines must be updated to protect against the flu strains circulating now. Merck Animal Health's flu-containing vaccines include the most current flu strains, protecting your horse from illness and time-missed training because of it. Talk with your veterinarian about prestige flu vaccines and learn more about the science of advanced protection at prestigevaccines.com. We're here for the hardworking, the resilient. We're for the people who measure their days by what needs to get done, not by hours. Where kids learn responsibility at a young age and generations work side by side. Where work doesn't pause for holidays or bad weather. It just gets harder. Where value and hard work means more than the clothes you wear. We're Kleinschmidt's Western Store, Higginsville, Missouri. It's time to go with United Mosquito and Fly Control's premier fly system for fly control in your barn, providing relief for horses from the stress of fighting flies, and also makes the barn more pleasant for everyone in the barn. Easy, effective, and safe. With United Mosquito and Fly Control, we provide a full service. You as the barn owner don't have to do anything. We go everywhere and take care of everything with our friendly fast service. Call today at 913-558-3814 or email Paul at unitedmosquito.com.
It's time to mark your calendar for one of the top horse events of the season, the 27th Annual Equifest of Kansas. This all-breed horse fair is coming to Salina, Kansas, beginning Thursday, March 14th through Sunday, March 17th. World-renowned clinicians including Guy McLean, the Jerry Diaz family, Julie Goodnight, Patrick Sullivan, and Sally Batten. Catch a special Thursday night show, plus the most popular competitions with ranch rodeo, barrel race, and breakaway roping. Wall-to-wall shopping for all things horse. For more information, go to equifestofks.com.
All right. Well, welcome back to Better Horses, everyone. We are so happy that you all are joining us today. We've got such a great show going on, and we always learn so much here. Ed, what are you doing right now with your horses to get them ready for the spring?
You know, right now I'm legging up for the parade, and I think that's going to be my big thing. I want to thank everybody for listening to us. We had a really good show, but I think more than importantly, we've had a lot of good feedback from a lot of trainers. And Susie, just want to let you know, we've got our winter edition that is coming out as a reminder to everybody. The newspaper's out. You can check it out on most of your areas, but check out our Facebook. We have it online, and check out our website, and our newspaper is also online. If you want to subscribe, you can subscribe to admin@betterhorses.com, and we'll be sure and get that to you. And then we also, everybody keep watching, Susie, our social media. You're doing a great job keeping that updated.
You know, we just love our Facebook page. You know, we get events from all over the nation of people doing horse things. We try to like and share a lot of different events. You know, we all know, being horse lovers, there are so many different things you can be involved in, from trail rides to horse racing to showing to just enjoying your horse at home. And so we've got all sorts of different things on our Facebook. So make sure you check us out, and we want to hear from you too. Tell us more of what you want.
That's a good point. Merle, we got to encourage a lot of our trainers out there that are doing a remarkably good job training these horses to reach out to Better Horses. Love to get them on the air. Love to get them on radio. Love to get them on TV.
Yeah, if they're interested in doing a segment, please get a hold of us. Our social media works, or drop us an email. But also, if you have a show idea, you know, something you want to see or hear more about, we'd love to hear from you.
And you know, Merle, we got a lot of events coming in. The Equifest of Kansas, which is going to be in Salina, Kansas, March 14th through the 17th. That's going to be at the Livestock Expo Center. Looking forward to that coming in. And also in the Lazy E Arena at Guthrie, Oklahoma, the Cinch Timed events, which is going to be February 29th through March 2nd.
Sure. And don't forget about my favorite event, the Pinto World Show Championships in Tulsa, Oklahoma. That'll be the middle of June. There's still time to get your entries in.
And we'd also like to more importantly, thank our sponsors with our program.
Sure. I would like to thank Merck Animal Health, of course, Kleinschmidt's, the Heritage Tractor. It's about to be that time of year where you're going to need a tractor to get everything around the place looking like it should. And last but not least, our friends at the Pinto Horse Association of America.
We thank all our sponsors for joining us. Everyone, I think we're going to stop it there. It's been a good show. We appreciate everybody coming on board. Merle and Susie, thank you for joining us, and appreciate all your help you do in helping me co-host this show. And we want to thank you. And we want to thank you for being good buckaroos and buckarettes. As my partner used to say, mind your moms and dads, be brave, and don't take any chances out there. But until next time, I'm Ed Adams.
I'm Susie Arbo.
And I'm Merle Arbo.
Happy trails, and always ride for the brand.